Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, here we are, my entire Dark Eldar force that I've been collecting for the £25 army challenge. So on the left you see phase 1, that's everything that I got for the first £25, and then on the right is phase 2 with the second £25. So this whole army here, £50 in total. I have to say, of course, I have been very lucky because I've had some awesome donations towards this army, and I've also had a lot of fun because trolling eBay, just trying to find the best buys. It's been actually really good fun, and I have enjoyed it a lot. So first of all, the first shout out will be to Callum from Tabletop Banter. He's the one who actually set the challenge, and I really like to say a massive thank you really to you, Callum, for that, because I've had a great time over the last few months collecting this force. Can't wait to get it painted and also to play a game with it. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to run over the units that I got. I'm going to do a few shout outs for a few channels. I'll put links to every channel in the description below, so please check them out if you haven't heard about them already. And then I'm going to switch over and I'm going to basically show you how I'm going to arrange all of these units into an army list that I've come up with. So first of all, let's just recap on phase 1, so I know a few of you probably hadn't seen some of the earlier videos. So I'm going to start straight in there with the Autarch, not an Autarch, it's not Eldar, Nick, Archon, that's the one. Which was very kindly donated to me by Aceface, so thank you Aceface. I have stripped him. I did decide to strip him in the end. I know I wasn't going to, but now I've got my paint scheme locked and loaded. I just think that the previous scheme, although it's very nicely painted, I think it just would have looked a little bit odd really. So that's that one. Behind is my 3 Venoms, which obviously I've got converted from some 3 Vipers. Now I had 2 Vipers which I'd previously been given, not for the challenge, but I'd been previously given 2 Vipers by one of my subscribers, and then the 3rd Viper I had won on Wargamer Shawn's little giveaway that he did. So I had 3 Vipers. I went onto eBay, I spent £4 on some bits, some Eldar bits, and I used those bits to convert them into Venoms. And then on the left there we have 2 Raiders. Now these Raiders are converted so that I can magnetise them up into Ravagers, so I've got both options. And I've got these both off of eBay. I think I paid £11 for the 2 in total. And then we have 30 warriors. The 20 warriors there, the slightly older school warriors, I got from Harry from the Dark Artisan. I did pay for them, but he did me a really good deal. £10 for all 20, which was absolutely fantastic. And actually, in fact, that was my £25. So I spent £10 there. I spent £11 there, and then I spent £4 on bits. And you'll notice I've got a whole bunch of other stuff. So yes, I've got 10 of the newer warriors, which was donated to me by Martin McNeil from Wargames. So thank you, Martin, for that. And not only did he donate those, but over here I have 30 witches, 20 there which I built, and 10 were already built. And they also came from Martin from Wargames, so huge thank you to you, Martin. And as you can see there, basically in the first phase I was primarily looking towards a good core units, good core amount of troops as my units. So yeah, I've got obviously the witches and the warriors, and then some transports to go along with them, plus the Archon, the HQ. So that was my first phase 1, and then we went into phase 2, which obviously I've only recently completed. So for phase 2, I was basically looking for additional units to complement sort of the core troops that I had over there, some meat to the army as such. So I started off here with a couple of rat ogres, which actually I got during phase 1, because Harry, when he sent me the warriors over there, he sent me 2 rat ogres as well for free, sort of threw them in. Now one did have a head missing, but thank you very much to Gamer FTW1000, because he sent me a spare head that he had, so that gave me those 2. And the idea was to use these rat ogres as grotesques. And as you see, I have some more rat ogres, and they were incredibly kindly donated to me by Mike from Mammoth Painting Studio. So thank you, Mike, so much. That was just awesome, and of course gives me 8 grotesques, which is just wonderful. And then we have another purchase of mine, which was for Homunculus, another HQ unit, and then behind there we have 9 Ravagers, and just to the back of those is a small squad of 5 Hellions. And both of those units came from Kiblams, so Kiblams again just does awesome stuff. Thank you so much. So far I've got all of those models there. I spent £3. At the back is the stuff that I actually purchased. So I got myself a Talos, and I got another Talos and converted that into a Kronos. And I also got myself another Raider, which I converted into another Ravager. And then I got myself another Raider there, one of the new styled units. So I paid, £3 for that. I paid, I think it was about £6 for that one, £9 for that one, and I think they were about £3 or £4 each in total. I can't remember the exact figures now. But yeah, that was another £25, 800 points. Actually, it's more than that. It was 800 without the Kronos. So it's about 900 points on that side in phase 2, and about 1200 points in phase 1. So plenty there to get my teeth into for a 2000 point army list. And that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to set these up into my army list. I'm going to run through the list and let you guys hear what I plan to do with them. Okay, so that's all the models displayed in my list sort of format. Just one last shout out, and that's to Darby Conway from Fire Breathing Duck, who's been really helping me with some of the weapon options and what the weapons look like, etc. So thanks very much, Darby, for all your help on that one. Now, on a side note, of course, I am using or trying to make the best of the models that I have. Of course, it's all the parts and parcel of the challenge. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is it's not necessarily going to be the most competitive Dark Eldar build. And at this stage, I'm not really after that. It's all fun basically for the challenge. As the future grows, if I decide to continue and expand the Dark Eldar, then obviously I can look at other things. But to be honest with you, I'm quite happy just to have a 2000 point list. Going to paint it up and play it every so often, so that's what this challenge is about, really. Okay, so let's move on to the different units. We'll start off at the back with my troops. So I have 2 squads of 10 warriors, and they are going to be in a raider. The warriors are going to have a splinter cannon, and the raiders going to have a dark lance. We then move on to 3 venoms. They're also going to have splinter cannons, and I'm going to have 3 units of witches in there, 5 witches, and the witches are going to have a hydra. And then finally, my 6th troops choice will be a squad of warriors, again with a splinter cannon. They're going to be on foot, and they're probably good just to reserve and come on onto any sort of rear objectives that are in my deployment zone. So that gives me 6 troops choices, and of course there's 5 vehicles there, so that's actually 11 objective secure units, which is a pretty reasonable amount, even though yes, they are very squishy. So let's move on to the HQ. So the HQ, the main one will be the Archon just there, and he's going to be joining my elites. Just one elites unit, and that's going to be these here, the Blood Bride Witches. I'm going to have a big unit of 15. Now the witches themselves will have 3 pairs of Hydra gauntlets, and then the Archon, he's going to have a Husk Blade, he's going to have a Webway portal, a Shadow Field and a Haywire Grenade, which I managed to squeeze in at the last minute. And the idea with this unit is I'm basically going to hold them in reserve, and I'm going to deep strike them in using the Webway portal. I think that would be really nice distraction unit, something that really will have to be dealt with because I've got the numbers there to potentially negate the problems of Overwatch, etc. So that's going to be the plan for them. Okay, we're going to move now on to fast attack. So for my fast attack, I've got the 9 Scourges, and I'm going to have 4 of the Haywire guns in that unit. And then here we have the Hellions, keeping these absolute bare minimum, as cheap as possible. They're going to go down quite quickly, we know that, but I'll probably either just run them down the flank, as again another little destruction unit, potentially might deep strike them in, but I think they're probably just going to flank. As we move on to heavy support, and here we have a Talos, just with the standard splinter cannons. Quite a nice little unit. I'm going to try and probably hide that behind a piece of terrain and shoot those guns. And then continue on with heavy support, we have 2 Raiders, and both Raiders are going to have 3 Dark Lances. So that's going to be a bit of my anti-tank really there. And then I'm going to take a formation. So I'm going to take I think it's called the Grotesqueer formation. So I've got the Homunculus and 2 units of 4 Grotesques. And I think that would be another nice addition to the army. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to have more Raiders and stuff, but like I said, I'm just making use of what I've got. And I think even though Raiders are quite cheap, let's say, I think they're at 70 points. They are quite cheap, but they add up. So if I had another 3 or 4 Raiders, I'd have much less troops on the table. So that is the army. Now that comes to a total of 1,999 points, so 1 point short. Now you'll notice there is a unit missing, and that is my Kronos. So this unit here I'm going to use basically as like a change up. So you know how occasionally you want to take your list but have something slightly different. Well, the idea is that I can drop the Grotesqueer formation, use the Homunculus, the Kronos and the Talos, and make a Dark Artisan formation. And I haven't worked out the actual points exactly of that, but I've got to sort that out. But that obviously is definitely doable. So that gives me the option to have a little change around within the list. So really happy with that. Of course, before I can play it, I do have to paint it, and I'm going to start painting that tomorrow. I've got a video coming up, like an introduction to the Warboss Day challenge that I'm going to be doing. And painting will commence. 31 days to paint this whole army. It's going to be fun. That's it from me. Thanks for watching.